morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Look at those skies. They're amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so today I'm actually going to talk about beliefs, but it's about how we fool ourselves into believing that we have a belief, a certain belief, a specific belief about something. Because some people believe they actually believe certain things when in actuality they don't. Lady, you need to watch what you're doing. Take the bus. Take the bus, lady. Anyway, we sometimes, oftentimes, majority of the times, tell ourselves that we believe something when in actuality we believe something that's completely different. And it's easy to identify if you know how to identify it. If you have a desire to identify these things, if you have a desire to live in truth, you'll accept any and every way that will allow you to see the truth. But if you're not really trying to live in truth, if you're really not trying to be that one who's living in love, who's living in truth, then no, you won't even look for it, and you'll shut yourself out from the truth, from the tools that are out there to help you see what you really believe and what you don't believe. And this actually came up a couple of times with a couple of different people. So one person I had shared, I don't know if you're listening, I shared an audiobook with some people on my Facebook, and some people were like, first of all, some people were like, oh, wow, I love this person. This person's great. Other people were like, oh, thank you so much. I'll take a listen. Some people were like, I'm listening to it right now. And other people were like, that's 8 hours. It's like, and I've run into these people before. They're like, that's 8 hours long. Now, I don't see it as just you have to listen to it 8 hours straight. You just listen to it here and there whenever you can, and you get whatever you can from the times you allow yourself to get it. So anyway, then the person asked, why did I share it? Why do I believe it would be a benefit to them? And see, these are the people who don't know how to make decisions for themselves. They don't know how to look at something and say, hey, this may possibly benefit me. What they want to know is, how is it going to benefit me before I even try it? And these are the people who suffer the most. These are the people who struggle the most, because they're not willing to invest in themselves. And they want to hear your definition or your perspective of how it's going to help them. But my perspective really doesn't have anything to do with them. They have to have their own perspective about something, but they already have a perspective. Whatever anybody presents to them that will help them, they'll shut it down, which is why they want to hear it from you. They don't want to waste their time on something they know they don't want to have anything to do with, so they listen to you and they say, oh, no, that's not for me, thanks. It doesn't matter how it goes. The person who is degraded and suffering and struggling is going to make decisions that will continue to have them struggle and suffer. That's just the way it is. This is why I say, be careful when you try to help people, because you're not really helping, you're just suggesting. And once you realize that people are continually rejecting the suggestions that would help them, you need to walk away. Leave them alone. Let them suffer. Let them stew in that which they have created for themselves. Because if you stick around, some of that stuff's going to be splattered on you. If you're not strong enough, it will be splattered on you. So this is why I walk away. I'm like, oh, look, okay, it's your choice. Bye-bye. That's it. But in terms of beliefs, so this one particular person said, we were talking about divine truth. And the reason why I had suggested the book is because I flat out said, hey, look, you don't really believe in it. You don't believe in divine truth. So here is the book, because this book has to do with some new age stuff, some understanding of God, but it's not 100% true. And so my thing is, well, since you don't want to believe truth 100% and it's too much to handle, here, listen to this. It's not all true, but there's some truth in it. And maybe that's enough for you to just, find your way, because this person is struggling a great deal every day, all day, basically. So I was like, well, hey, you know what? You can't handle the truth? Well, here's a little something, and has a little truth in it. It has some lies in it, too. It has some things that aren't true. But hey, if you can absorb some truth out of it, hey, that may help you. That was my thinking. Because you have to meet people where they're at. You can't just say, hey, be this, because they'll be so resistant to it, because their degradation is so great. They are so far from love. Trying to get them to understand love 100% is not going to happen. So it's like the frog in the hot water. It's like, you can't just dump it in hot water, because it's going to react to it. It's going to resist it. But if you slowly allow them to become comfortable with it, they'll start to see certain things little by little. And before you know it, they can handle it. It's like getting in a cold pool. It's like if you gradually start with something that's comfortable to you, and you get out and get into something a little cooler, it's not so bad. Same thing with the jacuzzi. Sometimes it's too hot. You have to ease yourself into it. So some people they're so far, the distance is so great between love and degradation, they can't handle truth. And this is why I had suggested that book, because it was a good book. Now, she was talking about some stuff about the Course in Miracles. Now, some things are true in the Course in Miracles and some things aren't. Some things are true in the Bible, some things aren't. So this is why I had suggested it. And so the person had told me, I believe in divine truth. They said, I believe in divine truth. I just don't know if it's true. Well, that's a false statement. But this person truly believes that this is real. Like, they truly believe they believe in it. But you can't believe in it if you can't live by it. See, we live by the things we believe in. So, if someone says you were special, you were great, but inside you feel that you're worthless, and you're not worthy, and you're not smart, or you're not pretty, when someone says, hey, you're pretty, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe it. Because you already have a belief inside you that feels or says, you're not worthy, you're not pretty. That's your true belief. It's not this thing you have in your mind. And people still try to believe that their soul is a mind, and it's not. It's not what you think, it's what you feel. So if you say, hey, you know what? I believe I'm great. I believe I can do it. I believe I'm God's child. I believe I am this. I believe I am that. But yet you're like, I hate myself. I hate the way I look. I hate these people for hurting me. I hate this. I hate that. No, you don't believe it. You don't believe anything that you said. And this is, when I bring up the New Age people, even Christians, this is what I mean. People want to tell themselves they have a certain belief. Just because they have it in their mind, they believe that that's true. That's the belief, but it's not the belief. So when you say, you have to love, when the Christian says, you have to love unconditionally, when they read these chapters and verses in the Bible, and it says, love thy neighbor, but yet you want to go and hit your neighbor in the face because they parked on your lawn, that you don't believe that. You don't believe you should love your neighbor because you want to harm your neighbor. You have a different belief. And we have to watch these things. We have to be mindful. Now, that's only if you want to be mindful. Because if you don't want to be mindful, you will continue living from the mind, believing that you're living from your soul. And that's not the truth. It's cold in here. So we really have to be careful with the things that we say we believe. Because it's not always true. It's only true if you can live by it. If you can sustain it, then that is what you believe. If you can sustain it, that is what you believe. And it takes time. It takes time. And you have to, first you have to understand that you're degraded before you can get out of the degradation. You have to realize that you're an asshole or a bitch, the things that you don't want to believe when people tell you you're these things. You have to believe that first. You have to recognize it first before you can say, you know what, wow, I have been doing these things. And this is why people have been calling me these things. This is why. I understand now. I need to stop this. And you change your ways. And now you can have the belief that you're a loving person if you live in love. Yes, you can say I'm a truthful person if you live in truth. But if you're saying I'm an honest person, but you want to lie left and right because you don't want anybody to know the truth, you're not believing the truth. You're not believing you're an honest person. You want to tell everybody that, and you want to try to convince yourself of that, but you're just accepting a facade. You're not accepting the truth, because the truth would be you're honest. But you're not, so you've accepted the facade. You've accepted the lie. So you have a different belief. A belief of a lie. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. And this is interesting because yesterday we at work we had put on an event for some clients, and it was for Black History Month. So we showed the movie Hidden Figures with Octavia Spencer, Taraji, and I think Janelle Monáe or something, or Monel Janelle, I don't know her name. Some dance singer. And so it was this movie about how these 3 black women, or just black women in general, were actually the driving force in helping the NASA get the man into space for the first time. And then they were instrumental in getting Americans to the moon first. So they claim. I'm not going to say whether it's happened or not. I'm not getting into that debate. I'm just saying that they were instrumental in helping to do this. And so, obviously, back then, there was this they say segregation was over, but in certain states did not observe this. They didn't observe that law. They had their own law. So, what happened was, the blacks were in one section, they had their own bathroom and water fountain and all this, while the whites had everything else, right? So these blacks had Octavia Spencer was one of the persons in there working. They were mathematicians, and so this white lady who kind of was like, she wasn't over them, but she was over them. But she was like their boss, but they didn't have a supervisor. And so Octavia, the black person, she was like, there's a supervisor position open. I'd like to be considered. And so the lady was like, well, there aren't any colored positions or something like that, or there aren't any open positions for supervisor or something like that. But the bottom line is the white lady did not want to acknowledge the fact that the black lady wanted to be supervisor and was already doing supervisory things. And so the white lady at some point in the movie said, I really don't have anything against you. And Octavia looked and she said, I really do believe that you believe that. And that was the truth. She had everything against her. She did not acknowledge her as being a capable, competent individual, and didn't want to give her the title or rank of the job that she was already doing. She didn't want to do that because she had something against her. But yet she was telling the black lady, I don't have anything against you. She goes, I really don't have anything against you. And Octavia told the truth. She said, I really do believe that you believe that. And this is what people do all day, every day. They say things and believe what they say, even though it's a lie. Even though it's not true, they tell themselves things so that they can believe it. Because they believe if they say it, it's true. But just because you speak it doesn't make it true. People lie to you all the time, so what makes you think that you're not lying to yourself or other people? And I understand people don't want to believe this, and so they won't. So the person who probably is listening to the video will still be angry, will still not believe anything that I'm saying is true, but will say, I understand what you're saying, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Or they'll say, I disagree. Both ways, they're still living with a particular belief that's degrading their soul even further, or continues to keep their soul in a degraded state, I should say. And it's all because of these lies. So when someone hurts you and they say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, I'm good, you didn't offend me, when in actuality they did, you have to be truthful. So you telling someone that they didn't hurt you because you don't want to seem weak, you believe this lie, and then you keep it pushing. Meanwhile, now you have something within your soul that's painful, because they did cause pain within your soul, and you're not willing to acknowledge it. So we have to be honest with ourselves, but we have to understand what we're actually believing, because how you live life, dang, got that skunk in here. How you live life is based on your belief system. We live our lives. We base decisions upon what we believe. So when we tell ourselves, I can't stand my body, I'm ugly, I'm stupid, I'm not smart, nobody loves me. When you tell yourself these things, that's your truth. That's what you really believe. That's what's true. So when you try to tell yourself, I am love, I am light, I am God's child, I am love, I'm an extension of God, all these different things that you tell yourself in a positive light isn't true. If you're turning around, yelling at everybody, cursing everybody out, putting someone down, condemning, judging, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Those are your beliefs. So to say, I believe something, when in actuality you feel something else. Whatever you feel, that's your true feeling. That's your true belief. Not these fake feelings, because sometimes we feel, well, even if you feel guilty or shame, if you feel guilt or shame, that's false. But there's a reason why. There's a reason why. You can't say you love yourself and then turn around and feel that. If you love yourself, you'll never feel shame. You'll never feel guilt. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't feel that. But the reason why we feel these emotions or these feelings is because we don't understand what's causing them. We don't understand the root of those feelings. Because you're not willing to look at yourself. You're not willing to ask the questions. You're not willing to try to understand yourself better. You're just not willing. Which is why you can't see it. And most people don't have a desire to see it. No desire. No desire. And the reason why we don't have desire to know the truth is because we currently believe something that we prefer to believe. I don't know what you were doing, Cadillac. You're doing too much. We have a different desire. We have a different feeling that we desire to feel. And most people who hang on to that, I am less than, they do it for many different reasons. One, to feel sorry for themselves because it allows themselves to be the victim. And they are making themselves feel that way. Like they're doing this every day. They want other people to feel sorry for them. They want other people to have sympathy for them. They use it. They use it to control others, to get what they want. And basically it's to get the attention that they didn't get when they were younger. That's it. Some people call them attention seekers, attention whores. There are all kinds of names for them. But this is why they do it. But it's a degraded action coming from a degraded soul. Because anytime you have to create something in order to get something, that's unloving. Anytime you have to manipulate someone in order to get a feeling, it's unloving. And of course, this is all these people know how to do because they have so much unloving things within their soul. You can't create love from a degraded soul. You can't put out light from a dark soul. You can't. How can you do that? You cannot generate light from something that's dark. You can't. You need light to combat the darkness. So when people pretend to be loving, It's not real. Because the day you fall for it is also the day that you'll get burned. Because it's not real light. Anyone who says, oh, I love you, you're so great, you're so kind, and then the next minute you're a bitch, you fell for the lie. You fell for the lie. This happens all the time in relationships. You fall for the lie. Oh, he's so dreamy. Oh, she's great. Blah, 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 blah. Then the next minute they're fighting, arguing, breaking up this and breaking up that. And, you know, because they fell for the lie. What they thought was loving wasn't love to begin with. It was a facade. It was fake light. A mirage. It was not real. And that goes for every single relationship that ever breaks up. They believed something that was not the truth. These people managed to hide their darkness and project this false sense of light, and they believed it. And because of their degraded state, they couldn't see it. And so they, being in their own darkness, couldn't see it because they didn't have the love to see it. Only love can see that stuff coming. From a mile away, you can see it coming. You can see it before it even touches you. You know not to even engage. What is going on here? What are you doing? But yeah, they fall for the lie. They fall for it each and every time. I have someone who wants to have actually a few people who want to get with me, and I'm like, I see that facade. I see it. I can see through all of it. And I already know. And so I know better. I know better than to get into that situation. No, sir. No, ma'am. Nope. I don't have because I don't have a desire to have someone in my life. Like, I don't feel lonely. I don't feel like I need somebody, to be happy. I don't believe that. But I also don't believe that, I do believe that we are meant to be with someone. I do believe that. But that doesn't mean that I have to get with someone just to be with someone. No. I don't mind being in a relationship with someone who, is willing to work on themselves, but these people are in flat out denial about all kinds of things. And there's little tests you can put out there. There's these little tests, that you can put out there to see where they are. And it's just asking questions, their views about things. If you know what love is, if you know what truth is, if you know what the lack of love is, if you know what these things are, you'll see it right away in their answers. Because you'll know if their answers are loving or not. You can feel it if they try to make you their world, to please you at every turn. Watch out for these people. Because they'll flip the script once they get what they want. But the facade cannot be maintained. The facade cannot be maintained. That illusion of light that's projecting that looks like love and care and concern and compassion, it's not real. And if anyone is willing to sacrifice their love for themselves, compassion for themselves, and give up whatever it is that they desire to please you, they're not loving to themselves. And these people are the most miserable. So at some point, they're going to flip the script on you. Because unhappiness, it will come out. The universe will expose it. And when it's exposed, what will happen? What will happen is you'll start to see a change. A change in what? Their personality, the way they behave. It will be exposed. It will be exposed. It will come to light. And you'll feel it. You will feel it. Arguments will happen. It'll start small. They may go into a depression. You're like, baby, what's wrong? Nothing. And they're lying. Well, something's wrong. No, nothing's wrong. I'm good. Why don't you just go by yourself? And then the other person starts feeling like they did something wrong because the other person isn't being honest. This is what I'm saying. This is how it starts. Denial of their own pain. And the other person not knowing what's going on because the person hasn't expressed any kind of discontent with themselves. They haven't voiced what their desires are. So how is the other person supposed to know what the heck is going on? Now they feel like they did something wrong. And then they're like, well, you're not telling me what's going on. There's nothing wrong. But look, there's nothing wrong. And then a huge argument starts. Like, this stuff is so easy to see. You know it starts. You know it starts like that. This is such nonsense. I swear it's nonsense. But it's real. And it's real for a lot of people. I get it. But Jesus Christ. Like I would not want to go through that. I'd rather be by myself and trying to work on myself. Because anyone who I allow in my life to come in and stop that progression, oh, that's my own doing. Yeah, and I deserve every single negative thing that would ever happen to me if I did that. Oh my gosh. I actually know who my soulmate is. I know who my soulmate is. And I'm like, nope, I can't. Because this person is not in the right state of mind. And I would be used left and right. I'm a convenience in this. This person doesn't really know. But I would be a convenience. And I can't allow myself to be used like that. If someone's using me as a convenience, that means they can't generate something for themselves. They don't believe they can. So they want to use me for X, Y, and Z. And I can't allow that to happen. So until they get their life together, it can't happen. Because I can't allow myself to stand around and be abused and used. I can't allow that. I cannot allow that. .2 miles. Okay, we're staying on 110. Woo. Relationships. But it's all because people are not willing to see the truth. Well, they need some, that little, what is it, their serpentine belt, just the squeaking. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Or it could be another belt, but it's not like a serpentine belt. I think I need to replace mine too. So, beliefs. Be mindful of your beliefs. Be aware of your beliefs. Not on the things that you tell yourself you believe, but on how you really feel. Look at how you really feel. Look at your frustration. Look at your anger, your rage, your sadness. Obviously, you believe in something else to make you feel this way. That's the only reason. It's the only reason why you feel this way is because you believe something that's making you feel this way. I don't even know why I make coffee anymore. That's weird. Most of you guys know that I'm a coffee addict. But lately, I really don't have a desire to drink coffee. Water is like my new thing for some odd reason. It's weird. I make coffee in the morning before I come to work. I only drink about half the cup. That's like 4 ounces I drink. Probably, yeah, about 3-4 ounces. Sometimes it just sits there, I forget to drink it. And then I make a cup for the road. I don't touch it at all. Then it gets cold, and while it's sitting in this thing, this thermos thing. anyway, I'm just saying my desires, or I guess I don't know if my desire, but I guess my desire for it is changing. I'm not sure why. I'm not trying to stop drinking coffee. It's actually kind of annoying, being that I've spent all this money on these Nespresso machines for work at home. You know? And then now to find out I don't even desire it anymore, or as much. I force myself to drink it at work. But anyway. So I guess that's it. I guess that's it. Just try to be mindful of what you tell yourself, because what you tell yourself isn't always what is true. And if you can understand that your soul is degraded, then it'd be easier to accept. But if you have this idea that you don't want anything to be wrong with you, or you don't want anybody to know or find out that something's wrong with you, you won't admit that. You won't admit it. Because we have to tell ourselves a lie. We have to tell ourselves a lie. That's so crazy. You know, we want to hide from the truth because we're so worried about what other people think. We are so worried about what other people think. So what we do is we try to ignore it, like nobody else sees it. Even like if someone does something wrong, let's say someone, not even wrong, but let's say someone had an accident. Like let's say at the store, you're at the store, someone's at the store, and they reach for something and the whole shelf falls and all the product falls on the ground. You know, someone will walk away so no one sees them, but they won't turn around to see who's seeing them because they don't want to acknowledge that they were seen. They want to be able to live the illusion as if they didn't do anything, which is the reason why they're walking away, because they don't want anybody to know that they did that. But an accident is an accident. And if it wasn't your fault, it's not your fault. But you don't want to accept the fact that, hey, this thing happened, because you don't want anybody to believe that you are at fault. You don't want to be blamed for it. And so you keep walking and you walk away and you don't say anything. You don't say, oh my gosh, there's an accident, I went to the, Sprouts market, farmer's market or whatever, grocery store or whatever. And I was looking for vegan dressings, and the one that I wanted, I reached for, but the cap was busted. And I'm thinking, why is it busted like that? Because obviously someone busted it. Someone busted it and just left it there. They put it back on the shelf. And so when I reached for it, it was, like I said, it was busted. So I put it in my little hand basket thing that they have, and I took it to the front. I said, hey, this was busted. I just wanted to, turn it in. And so she was like, oh, thanks. It's like, I didn't do it, but do you know some people will believe? Ooh. Oh my gosh, these people who drive are too much. Let me tell you, they are something else. They just I know you guys saw that. I'll try to make sure I keep it on there. That's funny. Because sometimes I put scenic views on my videos. If I record too long and I'm sitting in front of my office, I'll cover it up with that. That was funny. I wonder who else they're gonna hop in front of. Anyway, I just took it to the front, and let them know. But some people will be afraid of people thinking that they did it. They'll feel responsible, even if they did it. They'll feel like, oh, they're gonna charge me for it. They're not gonna charge you for it. They're just not. A store is not going to say, oh, you broke it. Look, this is not an Asian store. You break, you buy. These are American stores. They're not going to do that. But these foreign stores, they put a sign, you break, you buy. Maybe they have that belief. If that's the belief they have, and obviously it is, why would you not want to turn it in? You know, it can make a mess. It can make someone else's life miserable. You know, just be the good person and do the right thing. But some people are afraid. They are afraid because they believe that they're going to be blamed for it. But they'll tell themselves something completely different. They'll tell themselves all kinds of things. Oh, they have workers, they'll find it. People just tell themselves all kinds of things. And it's okay. It's okay, they can do that. But they prevent themselves from progressing. They prevent themselves from increasing the love within their soul. They just simply prevent themselves all the way around. 360 degrees, they're blocking all kinds of things that they want and desire. That's what we do when we block this, when we deny the truth. And we tell ourselves we believe something when we don't. We block ourselves. And this is why people struggle. This is why people suffer. This is why people are uncomfortable. This is why people can't pay their bills. This is why people feel lonely. All these hurtful, painful experiences come from simply not being truthful. Just honor yourself by telling the truth. If you don't honor yourself, you can't get rewarded. Now, if you lie, because see, here's the difference. You can be dishonest and suffer. And you can be dishonest and make lots of money and still suffer. You're still suffering. You are still suffering. Yep. You're going to suffer no matter what. Whether you're not trying to exploit people, but you lie to yourself and hurt yourself, shutting yourself down. Or you can exploit people and make a lot of money, but you're still going to be in pain. Oh, you're still going to... People are still going to take things from you. They're going to sue you left and right. All kinds of things. Going to make you feel like, your anger, your rage. It's going to bring it up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your life looks like. You're still going to experience pain. That's for sure. That is for sure. This is why it's just best to just tell the truth. Not because of not wanting to feel pain, but just because you want to, because that's the difference too. You can reluctantly tell the truth and still suffer consequences. Because all you're doing is speaking words. But in your soul, you're feeling something else. You're feeling the anxiety. You're feeling like, oh my God, are they going to judge me? Are they going to judge me? Rather than just saying the truth and feeling the truth and just letting it be. It's never about the words you speak. It's the intent behind them. You can have malice in your heart, in your soul, and be truthful, but using the truth to hurt someone. You can have love in your heart, love in your soul, and speak the truth and hurt someone. But you're not going to be judged by that if you have love in your soul. If you hurt someone, or someone feels hurt, I should say, then it's because of their denial of the truth. But if you had good intent, if you had loving intent, if that was the driving force behind your words, you will not be penalized for that at all. Not for telling the truth and having love behind it. But if you tell the truth and you have malice behind it, malintent, you will be punished for that. And it's not God punishing you, it's just you interacting with the universal laws. And you'll simply feel the natural consequence of that. The natural consequence of doing whatever you did. That's it, that's all. Yep. I wish we had a better donut place around here. They have only Krispy Kreme. I do not like Krispy Kreme. They're small donuts and they're super sugary sweet. Me no like that one. Me not like it. Me not like that one. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday. Gosh, it's Friday. Looks like I'm going to the movies again this weekend. Come on, fool. So yeah, Alita's out, I think. I think I told you guys I saw that Monday. It was really good. I liked it. So maybe you guys can check that out. Oh, and on Atom.com, ATOM, they have like a $4 movie or something like that. So they have some really good deals out there if you want to go see it for that movie specifically. All right, everyone. Take care of yourself. Talk to you later. Bye now.